Today is the seventh day of May 2020. And the problem with this FNM government and the country as a whole is greed and perceived power. And what I see happening and unfolded was the resignation of Dwayne Sands, that the Prime Minister asked him for his resignation and told him that he would not accept it, but he got fooled. It's politics. Dwayne Sands was always a threat to Minnis. I met Minnis in Abaco during the by-election. The first person he came to look for was Kai Mills. I didn't know why. I asked him what he looking for me for. I've never seen him, heard about him, never saw him on television, and he wanted Kai Mills, summons me. I'm going to tell you about that story much later. But what I know of his character, he have a high school mentality. It's all about him. Arrogant, cannot bring all the players at the table. If any attention was being drawn away from him, he's going to yog the rug from under you. The other Hubert was just like that. Hubert Ingram had that same character. It must be something in the name Hubert. A thing that only them born children would have sense. But there's a coup d'etat that's coming in the FNM leadership. And everybody that alive and dead and haven't been born yet know that Dr. Minnis cannot win another election in this country. Whenever you go down Mackey Street and you see a bunch of cars there at the FNM headquarters, that is the beginning of the FNM hierarchy going to drop the gauntlet on Dr. Minnis. And it is much deserved. This guy have not done anything at all that he promised. All that speech about VAT money, all the members of the PLP that he had in court and still getting caught, they ain't got the brains to find anybody guilty. They ain't got the brains to do what they promise. Nothing that they promise. They ain't find the what money. We're paying over 12% on VAT still. And nobody has told us all these years, 2 years in, where is the 700 million that they told the Bahamian people that they will get back from the PLP that stole the 700 million? All the money that they said that the PLP collected from Hurricane Matthew, not a dollar has been explained or shown to the Bahamian people 2 years in. Transparency. That haven't happened. So, Bahamas is so unfortunate because of ego, greed, and perceived power. We're going to have a coup d'etat in the midst of an epidemic, in the midst of us getting downgraded, in the midst of Bahamian getting hungry. They are not concentrating on all the big industry that brings in millions. All they're worrying about is their own ego. So before the next election, you'll see people like Darren Henfield. They will leave at the end of tender without that ministerial post because you see, Dwayne Sands has the numbers. Anybody that are close to Dr. Minnis like Darren Henfield will get that ministerial post yanked from them. Unfortunately, what is happening in the F&M has awakened two dinosaurs that the Bahamian people wish would have stayed asleep. That's that big dinosaur named Hubert and Perry Christie. They're right in the midst, They're right in the midst, trying to stop things and trying to get back for that perceived power. You see, they got the money through their long years, 35 years. That's 70 years between Perry and Hubert. And they still ain't done yet because of greed. Be careful what you ask for. See, Hubert them got the money, but they are lonely creatures, very lonely. I see at the Marshall Airport, they begging me to go talk to Hubert. When people see him, they absolutely turn their back. Those days when people used to go up and want to take a picture, say hi, they now see that he don't have the perceived power, that he's absolutely weightless, nothing to them. Nobody looks or talks to Hubert Ingram. He dashes. Boy, I can't even get camera on it no more. He's out the car and through the check-in and in the back. Boy, what a day a difference made. What a difference a day made. No more standing around and that big stupid smile and yak, 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 yak. He look left, look right, and every time he look at Abaconians at the airport, they turn their head. They want nothing to do with him. But because of this planned coup d'etat on Dr. Menace, that don't have no people skill, and believe that he is the only one capable of having brains, and anybody at the table that sit down with him, that brain tease with him gotta go. He doesn't recognize that everybody has to be respected. You may not like me, but you have to respect my view, because a certain people brought me to Parliament to speak on their behalf. So you have to listen. And as the leader, you got to put all components together, all views together to make it better for the common good of the Bahamas. It is not about Dr. Menace. It is about the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. But Dr. Menace think that all eyes is on him. And it's not about the Bahamas, nor the Bahamian people. It's about him. You can see what's happening in Abaco. I always say that Dr. Dwayne Sands was responsible for the dead bodies in Abaco. But ultimately, if Dr. Sands didn't do his job, the Prime Minister should have ordered Dr. Sands to bury our dead. So I lay the burial of our dead in Abaco at the feet of the most honorable Prime Minister. Now, he is the ultimate leader. All challenge before Dr. Sands resigned to his leadership, he had at bay. But he opened the can of worm. He now invited Dr. Sands to challenge his leadership. And he knows that Dr. Sands picked Loretta Butler Turner over him. So he had that in the back of his head. Because he's like a child. He never forgets. He never forgives. And he just waited on that upon time to screw Dr. Sands. And by screwing Dr. Sands, he has screwed the Bahamas of somebody that should be there to help. All hands should be on deck with this COVID-19, because Dr. Menace definitely don't have the answer for the Bahamas today. So you're here live on the 7th day of May. There is a coup d'etat coming to the Bahamas. Leadership will change within a few months. And it's a bad time for that to be happening in the Bahamas. But it's never have been about Bahamians for this F&M government. It all has been about greed and self. Look at the contract. Rich ministers got all the money. And these the same people that said the PLP was giving them self-contract. Be careful that y'all two F&Ms won't be shackled and walk in the bank lane shuffle soon after you have defeated and will be defeated at the poll. Kai Case, I say watch in anticipation of the coup d'etat within the F&M weightless, uncaring, unconcerned, have no soul F&M government. It is bound to happen. You started off wrong by sitting at yourself and self-dealing, sitting at the table, self-dealing, giving yourself multi-million-dollar contracts. It ought never have happened. Kai Case, stay tuned. You're live with Kai on WCAY as the coup d'etat about to happen in the Bahamas.